This is Clayton Skinner. Hi, I'm Clayton Skinner. My name is Clayton Skinner. My name is Clayton Skinner. Welcome back to Beyond the Beat. Welcome back to Beyond the Beat. Welcome to Beyond the Beat. Hello there. My name is Clayton Skinner and welcome back to Beyond the Beat. In this episode, I'm going to teach you bass drum techniques. So I'm going to try to give you a bunch of different techniques that you can use. Each one has their advantages and each one has their disadvantages. I'll try to give you examples of each one. And hopefully you'll be able to pick which one you feel most comfortable with to suit your needs. So first one we're going to be doing is the heel down technique. Heel down technique is actually the most common technique that most beginner drummers will go for. Usually because maybe it's a security thing. By having your entire foot based on the pedal board gives you a little bit more control. And that's true. For the most part, at the beginning, heel down does give you the most control. The only issue is that you don't have as much power with your heel down. Your heel down technique basically is when you have your heel and your entire foot on the pedal board. And your downward motion of your heel, or your ankle, actually is what powers the beater to hit the head. So the power is limited to the amount of power you have in your ankle or in your tibialis anterior muscle, that is the muscle that's at the front of your leg. That's the muscle that'll burn like hell when you're playing with your heel down. It's limited to the amount of power that that muscle can generate, because that's really the only muscle that's going to be doing it. There will be other muscles, but that's the main one. So heel down technique is a good one for having control when you want quiet, but heel down is not the best for if you want to play really loud and aggressive music. So now we're going to move on to the next technique. Now the heel up technique. The heel up technique is different from the heel down technique because the heel up, you can actually use your entire leg to generate the power as opposed to just that one muscle group we talked about in the last example. This is a better style for people who want to play more aggressive or more like a louder style of music. Now here's the thing. You could play louder with your heel up. At first, it won't be as in control as with your heel down, but that control can be attained. As well as, even though you're using your whole leg and you can generate more power, the more concentration and the more effort you put into it, you can actually play just as quiet with your heel up as you can with your heel down. So that makes, in my opinion, that makes the heel up technique a far better technique. Now the one thing you need to remember when you're playing heel up is that you have to make sure that the ball of your foot is always touching the pedal board. Now it could be touching anywhere. Obviously the sweet spot of the pedal board, and that's where usually the fattest part of the pedal board is. Usually that's the best place to keep your foot, but if so long as the ball of your foot is touching the pedal board at all times, you will be able to properly use this technique. So that's something that you need to make sure that you're aware of while you're practicing. So now we're going to be doing the slide technique. The slide technique is based off of the heel up technique, and it allows you to play two quick hits, one after the other, in case the beat you're playing requires it. Maybe you need two 16th notes, two 32nd notes side by side. This allows you to do that. So the first thing that we're going to do, it's a two-stage technique requiring two different movements. The first movement, by keeping the ball of your foot on the pedal board, you're going to hit down on the pedal board. Keep your ankle up in the air. You then lift your leg so the pedal board still remains attached to your foot, or touching your foot. And then you're going to bring your ankle down, and it'll almost seem like your foot is sliding up the pedal board when you do that. Keep practicing that very slowly. Pedal board down, lift up slightly, and then slide your foot down as you bring your heel towards the ground. Now this will take some time because you're going to have to make sure that you really practice that technique. As you can see through my demonstration, I was doing like a really big slide. Now the slide doesn't always have to be that big. The faster you go, obviously the more condensed that slide's going to be. It may only move like a centimeter, and that's okay. Just so long as you utilize that sliding technique to get those two quick hits. And the last one that I'm going to talk about is the heel toe technique. Now I don't know how to do the heel toe technique. I don't use the heel toe technique. And apparently the video that I put out a few years ago where I demonstrated it, it was wrong. So I'm not going to try it. I'm just going to tell you of its existence and then provide videos that you can look at, watch, learn, just in case you don't decide to use the slide technique. Even though I suggest you use the slide because I use the slide. Slide's awesome. Anyway, yeah. There, so I've just given you 4 different demonstrations or 4 different examples of different bass drum techniques that you can use. Now, I encourage you to learn them all. Just because you learn one doesn't mean you can't learn any of the other ones. I learned slide technique a long time ago, and by the time I learned of the heel toe technique, it just didn't work for me. It actually affected my slide technique, and it wasn't worth it. But if you wanted to, you could go over them and you could learn as much as you want. Learning different bass drum styles is good. You may even come up with some hybrid way of combining the two. It's up to you. And again, this is all just my opinion. I'm not saying that any one technique is better than the other, even though I did. Anyway, yeah, that's all for this episode. I hope you enjoyed it. If you want to get a hold of me, you can get a hold of me on YouTube, ClaytonSkinner.com, Facebook, Twitter. There's lots of different ways. Let me know what you think. Favorite the video, subscribe. See you next time.